Hello, welcome to episode 339 of the Drive the Green podcast. I'm your host, Matty B, joined in studio Best Western in on location in Montreal for this episode of the Drive the Green podcast. I'm here with Harv and Canoop, and we just got back to the hotel from the President's Cup, 2024 President's Cup in Montreal.
Yeah, sound excited about it, though.
Yeah, we're a little bit tired. We're running on fumes after this weekend, but in the interest of the listeners, we decided to, while it's fresh, do a recap of this President's Cup in which the Internationals did not pull off a miracle in Montreal here on the Sunday.
They did not.
So we're going to talk a lot. So that's pretty much the whole podcast. We're not going to talk about our weeks. Bronell's not going to call in, so we're going to count that as a missed pod.
Yep.
We're just going to talk President's Cup so that everyone, while it's fresh, we can listen to it, you can enjoy it, and that's it. That's going to be the pod. Does that work for you guys?
Love it.
Works for me.
All right, but before we get into that, we want to thank our sponsors, Player Golf, plyrgolf.com. Use the promo code DriveTheGreen for 20% off your order. Lots of player. Enough to...
Did see
some player.
And it was easy to
More
pick 'em
than I
out,
would have
which was
thought.
nice.
Yes. And anyone that was wearing player came up to us saying, you guys must be from the West. It's like, yeah, we are. Yeah, I'm from Regina. I'm from Calgary. So player is obviously a known Western brand, but it was just nice to see lots of people traveling to Montreal to go to the event. So, yeah, I didn't ask them if they used the promo code.
Should have.
But I should have. We're also members of Team Callaway. Plenty of Callaway hats, obviously, floating around a golf tournament. You're going to see lots of that. Lots of players represented in the event. So
Speaking of Callaway, one of their big guys, Sander.
Oh, your
had a
guy.
good day today.
are you going to bring up that you
I'm gonna,
touched them?
I'm
this
absolutely-
early?
I'm going to give him a high five. I gave him a high five today. Said, hey, great job this week.
What's more cringy, Xander and your obsession with him, or the
Yeah.
fact you guys are wearing the same shirt?
Me and him right now? Yeah. Well, we bought
Hey, I
gear.
had it on first, so
Yeah. Well, I said I saw his front of his shirt. I didn't realize the front of his shirt was the same as my shirt.
Oh, honest mistake.
Yeah, then he turned around. I'm like, oh, I got the same shirt. I'm wearing it too.
good thing no one can see the back.
Yeah. So Canoop touched Xander today. And then we saw Stefan over there smoking a cigar, and Harv was this close to saying, why don't you give him a celebratory spanking? But you didn't, so good for you for not doing that. But this is a good time to talk about pretty much the only non-player gear that I'll ever own at this point is President's Cup gear.
Yep.
That merch tent, although expensive,
Should
as
we
you
do
can
the other
expect,
sponsors?
Some things.
I'm going to get to the other sponsors.
Oh,
This
some
is still
things.
like a half sponsor on our outfits. So I will say, like, the merch tent, although extremely overpriced, they had like it wasn't just levelware, it was levelware, Travis Matthew, Malbon, like so many Puka hats, stuff like that. So it was just something for everyone at different price points, ranging from high to very high. But we were able to get some stuff that we'll always have to remember this event. And then we got a new flag for the studio back home. So, yeah, very cool to see all of that stuff and all of the merch. And when you look at the event itself, seeing pretty much everyone in attendance wearing something that they bought there, I can only imagine the amount of money they made.
I can't imagine the amount of money they made that tent. Like,
It's
that's got to be
insane.
marked up 500%.
The nice
Yes.
thing about it, though, like it, although not huge, they go through it. They're very efficient getting us in and out.
Yes.
Tap, boom, gone. Tap, boom,
We'll
gone.
talk about that later.
Yeah, but yeah, it was great. Before we get into the rest of the pod, though, we do want to thank Churchill Brewing. Do not have Churchill's this far out east, so it is Michelob Ultras like crazy. So
Mine's over there.
oh
That's
yeah.
what that's what I was.
Oh, I thought you were fist pumping lawnmowers. We were about to kick you off the show.
I was grabbing for my one that's underneath the camera. That
Trying
I
to
don't
use the
have.
force.
Yeah.
No.
And then last but not least, we're members of the Mecklenburg Financial Group family. Yeah,
I think a lot of people in that realm out there today.
yes, a lot of people
A lot
that
of
are looking.
investments.
Yeah, I mean, if I was wearing a Mecklenburg if I had a pen and paper, I could have wrote down a bunch of people for Rich to call, because a lot of people look like they needed some alternative investments. Maybe
and they could
people,
afford it.
Yeah, maybe people that maybe we don't even know, but they could have called into the Zoom. last week.
Could have.
The car wash LPs.
We could have just sat outside the merchandise tents and say, "Listen, you just flushed $1,000 down the drain. Why wouldn't you invest that money?"
Turn right back around. Go
Or-
return that stuff.
Or you're obviously fine with throwing away money. Why not make your money work for you and call
Even better.
Mecklenburg Financial Group back in
There you go.
Saskatchewan, and they'll help you buy more stuff at the next President's Cup
That's right.
or at the Ryder Cup next year. But yeah, we're gonna buzz through no weeks. We're gonna get through booze count. Booze count we'll do at the very, very end. We'll talk about the tournament.
Yep.
We'll talk about everything, and then we'll do our booze counts at the end. But let's start at the end. And the
Okay.
end of 18 and a half, 11 and a half, and the fact that being on site, and I'm sure obviously through watching it for those listening to this, there's no way that thing felt like 18 and a half to 11 and a half.
No, they were
It-
so close on the first day, right? They just felt like they couldn't really make much.
Oh, okay,
make
I see
many
what you're
putts,
saying. Yeah.
Right, so they filled in. It obviously went sweep. Had an okay morning session, and then that afternoon session, they came down to, or, I don't know, they were up or at least tied up until the 14th hole, and then just let 3 matches go, and that pretty much turned everything for today.
Well, and I think the biggest thing is if you look at the scores over the course of the 4 days, with the exception of the international team on Friday afternoon winning big on a couple matches, like they were right in it on Thursday in all 5 matches and lose all 5.
Yeah.
Then they go out and really dominate on Friday, and then Saturday it's just like they lost 6-2, and it could have easily been at worst 4-4, if
Yeah.
not 5-3 or 6-2 them.
Yep, they had chances.
And-
See, go finish
no,
your.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it felt closer, but today did not feel.
Like they could
The
come back.
intensity wasn't like there was
Yeah.
none of that things that people were ticking each other off
Yes, yeah,
with.
yeah.
Like no one was really hyping up the crowd like
Yeah.
the Kims were on Saturday, or Burns was playing the heel roll to a T
Yeah,
Saturday.
he was. Yeah.
There just wasn't that any today. But yes, I fully agree. It felt closer than a 7-point difference, but you just want them more intensity.
Yeah, and I think the issue was the international team put so much into Saturday that it felt like today coming out they knew it was almost an impossible task, and it actually did feel like that on the course. Like they were down early in those few matches, and they tried to battle back, and then they were up in the later matches, but it just seems like they ran out of gas.
Well, I think,
Which
we come back to, right, when we're standing out there, all the matches are on. We see 4 of the first 5 are all red, right? So we talk about getting them probably wanting a nice start to the day. And then right when people haven't even teed off yet, there's red, right? And Xander's kicking
Yeah.
Day's butt. The first group the last group has barely just teed off. And
Yeah.
things aren't going well.
So you
Yeah.
said the internationals gave it their all, put all their effort into Saturday,
Mhm.
but are we sure Mike Weir did that? Because it kind of feels like he
Yes.
forgot to make his picks and then said just roll the same ones out
Yeah,
again.
Yeah.
and that's funny because that's where I was going with this next. We're talking about them running out of gas. Well, being on site and all of the emotion of Saturday, and then we see that he's running the same guys out. At first, it's like, well, that's pretty ridiculous because why would you do that just in general?
Yeah.
But then after watching it, like those guys ran out of gas.
Oh,
Yes.
And
yeah.
I think those guys again on Sunday ran out of gas. Because you look at the matches of the guys that didn't, and I think maybe Jason Day might be hurt. Because
Yeah, I
he
don't
was
know.
the one that's like, how is he not playing on Saturday? And then they feed him to the Wolves, that is Xander, on Sunday. So maybe
First
he
one
was.
out, yeah.
Maybe he was hurt. But you look at Bez. Bez played really good today. An played very good today. So it's like, why didn't you just like swap them out? Like,
Yes.
I think you have to do something there. And I really do think they ran out of gas. And then, yeah, I think today they just, as much as they wanted to talk themselves into believing that they could come back and win, I don't think it sure didn't feel like it, that there was as nearly as much
Yeah.
emotion,
I think that's fair
Yes.
to say for sure.
right?
Yeah.
Just, yeah. But I will say, like, from from attending a President's Cup perspective, my biggest takeaway of this whole thing is that style of event and going to Canadian Opens before, just having Friday, Saturday with all those matches condensed and all the fans condensed and just the roars that happen and they're right beside you because you're only in a 4-hole stretch
Yeah.
is just something that you can't even try to describe.
It was like we've been to a few Canadian Opens now, and it was a whole other level. It felt more like a different sporting event, like a NFL game or something where your team scores and everyone's going nuts because you're in those 4-hole area.
And that's something that we talked about going into today is like you're going to spread these over. You're going to spread fans out over 12 holes now, which should, from our perspective, make for better viewing. But at the same time, it really it felt like that's part of what didn't drive the international team is, they kind of had everyone spread out and you're not really as focused. It really felt like.
I don't know how many people were there today, but it had to have been 2 or 3 times as many people as the last couple days.
You think?
There was people
they're just so
everywhere.
spread out. Yeah.
Like I thought.
I guess you're definitely more on Friday. Yesterday there was a lot. Yesterday,
yeah. But I think that comes back, right? Like, so we have Tom Kim saying the first day, well, there wasn't much energy. It's like, well, it's tough. Like, you have potentially 25,000 people out here to watch 4 matches, and you're asking people to pay, I don't know, $150, $200 to come out here, and you have 4 groups you get to watch. Like, it's
5 that day,
or I guess 5, yeah. But just not very economical. If maybe they move toward that Ryder Cup model where it's 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, and then they do singles, right? Condensing a little bit more, but
they should probably just do like you get one Thursday, like an afternoon session Thursday, then it should be 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, single Sunday. Like make it bigger.
Yeah.
They also got to change the format. Like,
I will say
not working.
no.
I will say that it was. It's not that it's not working, but
it's not working for the internationals.
Yeah, I honestly didn't. I don't like 4-ball. Like, to me, the team
should be
event
total score match.
total score match play would be hilarious and awesome.
Yeah, why wouldn't?
Or 6-6-6.
Yeah,
scramble match.
Yeah.
We talked about scramble and how much fun it would be.
I wouldn't want to watch that.
But just kind of to talk about some of the guys playing the event. So obviously they're done now. Xander goes 4-1, Cantlay goes 4-1, and their only loss is that absolute stomping they took.
Yeah.
So they go 4-1. Burns goes 3-0-1. Burns, like on site yesterday, that guy was into it. You could tell that he was
full heel mode.
Full heel, yeah. For what the Kims were doing, he was like, I'm all the way in.
Wait, we got to go back.
Morikawa was 4-1.
Why wouldn't you want to watch scramble?
Just not really appealing to me.
Professional golfers in that, like, you got one guy hitting the fairway and the other guy just unloads. Like,
if I wanted,
it would be better than playing a scramble.
No. If I wanted to watch it, I'd just watch the Zurich Classic.
No, that's not a scramble.
They do a scramble one day, don't they?
No, they do 4-ball and alternate.
Yes.
Yeah, they do the same thing. Yeah,
same as this.
But
like, a scramble, especially out there, that drivable, the 14's drivable. Like,
we're doing.
I don't know.
I don't. It seems like it'd be perfect for this. It's a bit of like get it for the fans. Put on a show, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, like stepping back after it, I think everyone that was in attendance at that event had a really good time. So I don't know if it's necessarily broken. It's just broken in the fact of how the hell do you kind of skew this thing so that the internationals can.
Well,
they were, but I mean, they did. They had a chance.
They were never going to win this week. They just don't have the horses.
No.
And we don't have to get into a live versus PGA versus playing in this conversation, but they're missing those 2 guys because, like, the USA has their big 4 column in these now, and internationals really have Matsuyama.
Yeah.
And he wasn't playing great.
And
this
he was
week.
up and down, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read off some notes because now we got the notes that help us with this.
It's fantastic.
We got the PGA Tour comms notes for this stuff. So I just want to bring up a couple notes. First of which, the top 4 point getters there's 6 that had 2 points on the international team, of which Bez, Siwoo Kim, Connors, and Pendrith, 4 of the 6 captains' picks, all had 2 wins.
Yeah.
Sung J M went 1-4, which is off playing in every. So there's
Every
a guy.
match.
Why is he running out on Saturday afternoon?
Yep.
Min Woo goes 0-1, and Mac Hughes goes 1-3. Those are the other 2 captains' picks. Where on the other side, captains' picks, Homa and Harmon go 1-2 and 0-3. Harmon went 0-3.
Yep.
So those top 4 guys,
Harmon
obviously,
shouldn't have been there. But.
Cantlay, Morikawa, Shoffley, Burns, Henley, Scheffler, they all win 3 times. Like those are
And they all played awesome this week.
so
Henley was a nice surprise, I'm sure, for the Americans.
Yeah, he earned his keep because
Yep.
I did not like.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he did well. I mean, Harmon and Homa seemed like weird picks at the time, and then they'd go a combined 1 of 5. So
I think this
Yeah.
might be the last time we see Tony Finau at a event like this.
think so.
He just,
There's some chance. He's got points rolling into next year, but yeah,
I don't know.
could be.
There's a changing of the guard. They already got rid of Turf, Spieth, and JT.
Yeah.
There's a changing of the guard on the American team.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as kind of course setup goes, what do you guys think of the course for this type of event?
I know I've told you guys this, but the front nine, it's fantastic. It looks like a big PGA Tour golf course, right? Manicuredly perfect. Back nine, yes, there's great holes, but I don't love it. It's water left on 4 of the holes,
Yeah.
never on the right, and it seems kind of repetitive to me.
I would-
Everything's a dog leg left.
Yeah,
There was
I don't
very
know.
few dogleg rights, but I think it was more. Yeah, the two bodies of water on the back. You're playing the same way around it. So Rusty Shovel Sean was on location today, and he actually said to me, "It's like a NASCAR race," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, except you're going around water."
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like the same hole. Well, four of the last 6 holes or 7 holes.
For me, when we first got there and I walked around, I was kind of like, "There's nothing special."
Mhm.
But as the week went on and like you're watching these matches, and yes, it's President's Cup or Ryder Cup, but you're so into it, I started seeing like the little like subtleties of this course that I actually really like it.
Yeah.
Like how 14, yeah, you could pull driver there. No one was obviously in singles, but like then that green is like a 20-yard incline, and like those drop offs to the water are like straight down.
Yeah.
Like just the little things, the undulations, and maybe that's why I'm a big undulation fan, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I do think that because they have so many holes on the property, so what you don't see on TV is the holes that they're not playing. And so you can tell maybe why they didn't play some holes just logistically. But like there are holes that it felt like that back nine was almost a different, they were playing 2 separate courses. I don't know if they were or not, but the holes that they weren't using seemed like they were all on the front, which was no water, all flattish style holes.
Yeah.
And then when you got to the turn and played the back, those all seemed like water holes,
I
high elevation holes.
100% think that's 2 different golf courses.
2 different golf courses.
Because if you go whatever direction it is,
on the other side
left
of 13.
of 13 or left of 12,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
there's like 4 holes over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that is a whole other course.
Yeah.
So then it actually can kind of fit the narrative of the U.S. really closing out their matches versus the Canadians because the course changed. The Canadians were very good
Yeah.
on the front.
Internationals,
Internationals were very good on the front in those, similar style holes. And then they get to the back where they're all similar in a different way. And the U.S. turns it on and really kind of put their foot down.
I mean, I really wish Bronell would have called in for this because I wanted to get the TV perspective because I don't think this course would come across well on TV. Like it's they're pretty wide open at the green. They can't
Generic-ish,
pick
yeah.
up how deep those bunkers are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Like J-Day's hole out on 12 today, that green was 15, 18 feet above where he hit that ball.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I thought he was dead. I said to Jay before he hit, I was like, this might be the hardest shot ever. Sure enough, drains it.
You're really
Yeah.
getting into the announcer role.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
Auditioning.
One thing is for certain, and I think I thought it many, many times, because when you go to a golf tournament, logistically, it's like, where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? And on a regular PGA Tour event, if you're on the first couple of rounds, you just get to pick a spot, and there's usually no one around. But when there's these types of crowds, you really have to think about where do I have to be, how many holes ahead do I have to be, all of this stuff. How far away is it?
Yeah.
That it really goes to show that golf is a TV sport.
Yes. Because
Like we would find
this
ourselves
event
going
for sure.
this
we would-
event,
yeah.
yes.
We'd find ourselves going to find a TV
Yeah.
to watch. Like we'd go to the media center, or we'd go find a big screen that had some holes.
That's
just to
one
watch.
perspective I'd love to hear is maybe a first timer coming to this event. Hey, would you go to another one? How did you like it? Because obviously there's, I mean, today is a little bit different, but if you went at one of the other days, is it good? Like, do you like that there's this many people here, but there's 4 groups out there? Do you like it because it's the atmosphere? You're not going to get that necessarily as much at the Canadian Open.
Well,
And then
yeah.
you went there. Okay, well, what do you think about
Yeah.
them now?
Because I like the Canadian Open or any other tournament because you can literally just, like, if you're, I'm hungry, I'm going to go get something to eat, you just watch golf the whole way down.
Yeah.
And, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll just walk this way and
Yeah.
watch golf on 3 holes, even if I never stop walking.
Yeah.
You're just watching golf.
Yeah, I think that is one of the big kind of takeaways. If you were talking to someone that came to this event or watching yesterday, getting these text messages of people saying, wow, I can't believe you're at this event when it's this exciting and stuff like that. And it's like, it's the roars on the course are unbelievable. But at the same time, you might not, you can hear the roar, but you might not have seen that shot.
Yeah.
So it's like watching at home is just like you get to see every shot. Now, that being said, we did have a feed there, and you don't realize on TV how delayed a lot of those shots are.
Yeah.
Like there was times today where we watched, I think it was Minwoo Lee on 9, hits it close, makes the birdie. We walk all the way to 10, grab a beer, and then see him putt that ball. It's like, that happened like 7 real-time minutes ago.
Yeah.
So
And that's why you can't gamble live on golf.
yeah, it's definitely why. So let's. I just want to talk more about the Weir stuff.
Sure.
And thoughts on him as a captain. Thoughts. Obviously, we talked about his decision on Saturday.
Yep.
But what did you think of some of the teams that he rolled out there? Like he didn't have too many national. Well, he certainly didn't put the Australians together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
sure Day and Scott like each other.
I
don't know.
I think they do.
like the Kims were obviously an electric factory on Saturday
they're-
afternoon.
yeah.
Like that was some all-time good golf, and then to go ahead and puke it away on 18 on Sunday or 18 after that was kind of tough to watch. But I think he generally did an okay job. Like
With
I say,
the teams,
yeah.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
you were
think so.
always going to run out Connors and Hughes. You were always going to run out the Kims. You were always going to run out Sungjae and Matsuyama. It seemed they didn't really have someone for Scott.
yeah, the
or
rest
Day.
of them, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Pendrith and him did well. The
I
matches
thought
that they
Pendrith
played
and Scott
together.
did well.
Yeah,
But
they were fine.
it's the issue. I think is like it almost felt like he just got comfortable with what he had in Saturday morning, or even in the previous ones. He's like, I don't want to break this all up. But at the same time, that is the whole point of it. You have to find those combinations, and whether Furyk actually did that or not, or he just had the better players, so it didn't really matter what he did.
Well, so you obviously makes his pairings for the morning for Saturday in
Yeah.
a session that they lost 5-0 Thursday,
Yeah.
and then they don't go back to some of the combinations, but don't go almost to the same combinations again Saturday afternoon after they swept it on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, that doesn't really make sense. And I get sort of because there were still groups out on the course when they had to announce it, and they didn't know if they were going to be done in time, and
Well, I think too,
logistically
like
it's a little tougher.
I mean,
but-
Harmon stunk this week, but if Henley, I think Henley's the unsung hero of this tournament.
Yeah, I
Because
think
if
you're
he
right.
doesn't play well with Scotty,
Yeah.
and they don't win those matches, like now, well, who are you going to put with Scotty? You keep switching around, but then you
Yeah.
got to leave Henley, Homa, Harmon.
Yeah.
That's
Are
the,
they playing together?
the counter argument, though, is he's playing with the best player in the world, so he only has to play half decent, and he's still going to be good. But I agree with you. Live watching it, I felt like Henley was definitely not out of place, as some people,
No.
when it was picked.
He played great.
thought- yeah.
Great.
But
But back
Yeah.
to Weir.
yeah,
He was a natural pick to be captain of this team. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be anyone else, and he's right in the right age and
yeah,
has the credentials. I was more confused with his today. Like, I get we've already said that Day might be hurt, and they just threw him to the
Yeah.
sacrificed him to Xander, because they did look like he looked like he was just going through the motions all
Yeah.
day. But then it got down, like, I mean, Matsuyama beating Scotty was huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then those, like, 4 to 9 matches today didn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, there was some super weird ones, like why it's slipping my mind right now, but Pendrith, who did he play? Lose to today.
This was the hardest
Pendrith
thing.
played Cantley.
Yeah, like
Today.
that one was weird to me.
Like, I would have thought you
Yeah,
would have
but
ran
maybe-
Connors out against Cantley. Like,
Yeah, but maybe Cantley got put up and then, or
Oh,
sorry,
yeah,
he
'cause
put
they
Pendrith
snake
up
it.
and
They
yeah.
snake it, don't
I don't know
they? Yeah.
exactly who, because I'm
yeah,
pretty sure
I
the
guess
Americans
there's that, but still, it just seemed a little
first.
weird in there. Like, I would have thought Pendrith Finau would make more sense of a match than,
kind of long. Yeah,
and then you got Connors Cantley. Like, it just didn't. And maybe it was just strategy and it didn't line up, but it just seemed weird in that
Yeah.
4 to 6 or
Yeah.
5 to
Yeah.
5 to 9 ish.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to say that Weir's probably not going to get asked to do it again
doubtful.
because it's not in Canada. What do you guys think about Furyk? So it's now they announced at the trophy presentation that it's at Medina, and he's won in that area before. He won his U.S. Open around there. Do you think he did a good enough job to keep his spot for one more year? Or tangenting this into the Ryder Cup and Keegan Bradley? Like, if Keegan Bradley, he played so unbelievable, and we'll talk about him
Yeah.
here in a second, but do you think Jim gets it, or do you think Keegan might get a back-to-back here?
I don't know. I
think it's
it-
such a thing that you never can do
He
both
really
at the
made
same
it
time.
sound like in that celebration after,
Yeah.
when he got asked, he's like, "These guys will all be here." So I don't know if that was a, "Hey, I don't know if I'm
Right,
going to do
right.
it," or if he's like, "No, I don't want to do it."
Yeah.
Because we always hear them talk about after it's done. It's been
I don't
so
think
much
they
work.
necessarily
and-
want to do it.
Yeah, because they say
Like,
it's
they
so
wanna do
much
it
work.
once.
Doing the tour, doing like you're still doing everything you normally do, and
I mean,
then you're
I
doing
think they
press
make it a lot
conferences
more
and-
Yeah, like I've always
Yeah.
wondered
important
that,
than
like,
they
what
it
is
has to be.
what is the work associated with it? Like, call me ignorant, but it's like it's 2 years. Like, someone's planning all like the team building events. You're probably just calling them.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
is
don't
it
know.
too much work that you have to go do all like the PR?
all the media stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably part
It's
of
just
it.
exhausting fielding the same questions
Yeah.
over and over
Well, I
again.
think it's like because they're building this up to be the spectacles that they are. Like, they make them do, like, he's probably been at Montreal like 5 times looking at
Yeah.
whatever they're planning to set up.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because,
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
like, he was on a team when it was here last time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, he knows what it's getting into, but
Yeah.
probably had to come because they're making this thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's true. But okay, well,
I
that's good.
don't think he will be back.
Yeah.
And
I
I
don't
don't think Bradley will get the next one.
yeah. Now that being said, Bradley should absolutely be a playing captain of the Ryder Cup.
If he keeps
Wow,
playing like this,
He said he won't pick himself. I think he should pick
He
himself.
should pick himself. Like, watching that guy this week, like,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
he is meant for team
That
golf.
Thursday when we watched in the airport when our plane was delayed, and he just canned back to back
Yeah.
like 20 footers.
Yes, he was the reason they were. They won that match, but they were feeding off him. And then even when they lost, he was still like. Saturday he was unbelievable. Today he goes out and beats the guy that everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
Siwoo's gaining all these
Handily
fans.
beat him.
Yeah, well, it was Siwoo a little bit early, but then he completely turned that match around. So it's just, I'm just looking up how I can't remember if he went undefeated or did Bradley lose one.
he definitely
Keegan
lost
went 2-1, yeah.
Yep.
But like I say, he's just he seemed like he was meant for that type of atmosphere.
He is.
And I think he's going to be a very good Ryder Cup.
I think so as
captain.
well. Yep.
He's always been good at that, though. That's why it's even more puzzling he didn't get picked last
Yeah.
year.
I agree with you.
I mean, bribes aside, but one thing I was thinking about this entire time, like, if somebody would have got a hole-in-one on 17, like, that green would have been littered with cans and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, because it's right on top. The stands are right on
Yes.
top of the green.
Like, and then I was just thinking, like, even a big putt, I bet you people start throwing them. And nothing really,
Yeah.
I guess Scotty made that one Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
Watch
I'd
it.
like
Saturday
to look
morning.
up to see how many holes got to 17 and 18 because it didn't feel like many
Yeah.
all week.
That's what the guy on the bus said today. He said it's like they designed this course for them not to get there. Because
Yeah.
why wouldn't they have a big grandstand on
Yeah.
18, like on the right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he said there was no have matches until today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a wild stat. The fact that there weren't that many that even, well, quite a few got to 18, but it was the have matches. So I think they thought this type of format, not too many get to 18, but there actually was quite a few.
yeah,
And so that was the best part for us, with the media tent being right next to 18 on Saturday afternoon when we're winning these matches, and it's like, are they going to even make it to 18? We could just go right out the door and get to 18. But yeah, I think it was a really good event. To your point about that's what I was going with this, is you're talking about littered with cans. I thought you were going to say someone jumping in the pond. And then when you said, why doesn't someone just jump in the pond and make them come get you?
Yeah. I ain't leaving.
I'm just not leaving. Someone come out here and grab me.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I mean, you're going to jail.
Yeah, but I would rather, if I'm going to jail anyway, I'd rather
that's
just
the thing.
stay in there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stay here and watch the rest of the round.
I
until
was
someone comes and
actually
gets me.
really, like, there wasn't many, like, yes, there was obviously drunk people in the bus line at the end of the day, but there wasn't any, like, noticeably, like, belligerent drunk people.
No.
Like, even at Canadian Opens, you seen guys stumbling around.
Yeah, there was none of that, other than, I will say, and I don't know about the TV viewers, but that INT chant was cool for day one when we got there.
Yeah.
But I mean,
the worst-
don't get me wrong, I don't like the USA chant all the time either. But INT was like we were trying to one-up USA chants.
yeah,
And it was getting so annoying. Plus the fact there was no one from US here.
Yeah.
Like, I bet you 1% of fans were USA fans. Like,
Yeah.
you couldn't even tell when the USA made a putt
it was
because
quiet.
no one was here.
Yes,
But, yeah, the INT, like, it just got old quick because people were, like, forcing it.
Yeah, like
On like
nonstop.
nonstop on like approach shots, and like
Every time they walk up.
yeah, like it just got too much. And I'm sure, I mean, Twitter agrees, people agree, people text. I don't know.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
for me. It was a little trying to compare yourself to USA and getting a chant of some sort out there. I'm wearing an INT hat right now, so I mean it worked for me.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of it. I just didn't like how much I heard it.
Just had to be
Yeah, more subtle.
reined in a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Like after a win, after you win a hole,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
But like just people are they're just walking up the fairway, and you got someone trying to get the chant going.
Yeah.
Like I don't
yeah.
know.
I do like the President's
Could be
Cup
because we're in
from
Montreal and Habs fans are idiots. So
that makes sense. Yes.
I do like the President's Cup though, and Ryder Cup for that matter, for the wives and caddies' wives and all that stuff. Just seeing like groups of people following these groupings.
Yeah,
It's just like, yeah, you have a pairing and they're walking, and then there's a bunch of either captains or wives and stuff like that walking right with them inside the ropes. I mean, some of the days they're right in carts right behind them on the fairways and stuff like that. It's just like
that is cool.
it's cool to see.
Yeah.
It just changes the whole atmosphere of everything. And yeah, I think the roars for me, my biggest takeaway from this was the atmosphere of being at an event like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
I don't know. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about? I know we had a couple other things on our list, but
I have
we
two negative things we can
We
talk
could. I
about.
would say we could talk about transportation.
That's one, but just the merchandise tent, like the prices or whatever, like you knew it was gonna be inflated, but there was too many people in that goddamn booth that first time we went in. Like
Well,
I'm just trying to
well,
That
look.
was
because
in the
fog-
delay.
the fog
That was
delay.
in the delay.
That was
so
in delay for sure, but like I'm just trying to like casually look at clothes, and I'm just getting like bumped into, and then finally, I don't
It's
know.
like,
I was
the
just like,
store
I'm
phone, I think
leaving.
you should
This
leave.
is dumb.
yeah, I think logistically though, that was, like I said, they get you in and out pretty quickly. It is packed. I didn't think the beer lines were all that bad at
No.
times.
No, they
The
were fine.
washroom lines were a little poor at times, but not that bad.
No.
Like it was a generally well thought out logistic event.
Other than
On course.
Yeah.
Other
the
than transportation.
Like
But
that
it-
is
I mean, it's
embarrassing.
also very tough, right? You're on an island. You have one bridge.
yeah, but
it just,
that
yeah.
Can you imagine
how is
holding
that
a golf
bridge not
tournament?
done?
4
Yeah.
years. They had 4 years notice to do that bridge,
Yes,
and it's under construction.
it's not
42
even
months.
close.
Yeah.
Like that thing,
No.
I don't think that thing would be ready if this tournament was in 2026.
Well, the crazy, like, I just don't understand how they did they not know this tournament was happening? It was announced in August 21.
Well, that's
they knew.
and then,
22.
but like they also knew it was happening, and that's what they came up with for lines.
yeah. I don't even want to get into the lines, but picture this at home. You have a line that you need to get to, but in order to get to it, it branches off from the super long line that you have to wait in. So let's say there's an empty bus, and you're in line for that bus, but you have to wait with the people that are waiting for the long line bus that has no buses. So
And no one's
they don't
letting
even
you go
know,
through.
and they don't even know that you're waiting in line for your empty bus. So they'll probably just reroute it to a different spot. Meanwhile, you're stuck in line.
It makes no
Like,
sense.
right? Why not have lines for every single bus? You would think so, but yeah. Thoughts on Montreal?
I'm very interested to see what it would actually take for us to go down with normal, like no rerouting for whatever, right? We're an hour or
Yeah,
so
like Ubering from downtown
Yes.
straight to the course.
straight to the course. If it would be much less, how
Time-wise?
much less it would be? Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Getting out was an absolute nightmare, but getting there was actually
Yeah.
fine.
We got lucky going there.
yes.
But,
Yeah, we did.
but I will say Montreal is a host city. I haven't been to Montreal since I was 20 years ago. But I wish we pretty much go to the course in the dark and come home in the dark.
Yeah.
And the nightlife downtown here is awesome. Like there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
Large center.
It's a little sketchy.
A little sketchy if you go even one block the wrong way.
Yes.
But generally, if you stay in the well-lit streets, it's not bad. You only see a few homeless
Well, it
people.
can't be that bad. Like everyone's walking around.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And then it would have been nice to see some of the buildings and stuff downtown in the daytime, but we
Yeah.
just haven't had the
Right, yeah.
opportunity. And we're recording this directly after, so we can go get some La Banquise poutine.
Yep.
Supposed to be the best poutine in the city.
Yeah, so we're excited for that.
Poutine.
I'm just trying to figure out if we forgot anything else. We wanted to get the most raw pod as we could, so we didn't make any notes. We're just shooting from the hip,
Going
here.
off memory because we saw
Yeah.
it all.
Yeah, but I don't know if I have much else other than, my highlights kind of were the Friday when we first got here. Oh, we didn't even talk about not getting here on time, but we don't have
Yeah,
to.
that's
Air travel is just ridiculous right now.
Yes.
But Friday afternoon, that 5-0 was some sort of feeling. And then I would say Saturday afternoon with people texting me, watching these 4 matches go back and forth. And then it sucks that we lost 3 of the 4. But like that stretch of golf was some of the funnest times
Yes.
I think I've ever had in sport. Like
it's a
just-
really cool feeling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everything going on around you and you're there.
what also worked out pretty good. Like, and I'm sure Brono was on the pod. You'd say this. Well, this is because Canoop was with us. But like 10 days ago, it was supposed to rain every single day
Yeah.
of this tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going. Like
And it
now it's
poured
Saturday, Sundays, and then
Wednesday.
now it's Friday. Now it's Thursday. Like, and then they didn't get rain at all. Like
No.
it could have
Not
been
during the event, but that moved up that forecast so much it was raining overnight the day before the event. Nothing on
Like
it.
it could have been a terrible experience.
Yes.
Like, because remember when we went to St. George's and we had to walk around in that rain and just like our shoes were wet for the rest of the trip.
Yeah,
And like you're not packing multiple
No.
shoes.
yeah. We talked about it on the bus home. It's like I can't believe that it was 20 degrees with very little wind and sunny.
It was
All
hot
three-
sitting in those stands.
Yeah.
Burning.
So I think other than transportation, if I am the group the tournament organizer right now, sitting there having a beer, I would say this was an absolute perfect tournament, other than the internationals losing on home soil and transportation.
And like they did hole 1 right.
Yes.
Like that DJ there,
Yeah,
that grandstand. Like,
I think that
well
was part of
done.
the atmosphere that was the best. Is you could be as far away from the first tee as possible that course had, and still hear the first tee.
Yep.
So for those first 12 matches going off, like you could, they're still going off a one because the music's still pumping.
Yeah.
I almost think they should have just kept it going.
Oh, just maybe like some other tour? I don't know.
That got brought up today. I said the same thing.
Yep.
I
Interesting.
like the music. I
Everybody
like-
liked it, but
Yeah, well, except for John Rahm, but he went there. He went there not for the money. Just
Right,
hates everything
right,
about
yeah.
it, but didn't go for the money. But yeah, what else you guys got? We're 40 minutes in.
That's it for me.
The
I know there'll
most
be some more
raw.
stuff we can probably talk about next week with
It
Bronell
was-
because he'll have
Yeah,
some
Bronell will have
questions
some
and
thoughts that we missed
we can go
for
over it
sure.
then.
But I think
I
I
mean-
think that's it.
Other than if we wanted to get real specific, like that shot by Siwoo Kim yesterday on 16,
It was insane.
Yeah.
like the fact that it goes in, we don't have to get into the sleeper, whatever, go to sleep
Yeah.
celebration and all the backlash that had, but like that shot was unbelievable.
Yeah. I think, just that was probably one of the things I mentioned that we might have forgotten. We could have talked about that far earlier in this pod. But yeah, it's just like those types of moments are all you want to have.
Yeah.
And then you get some of those key moments. I mean, even if you want to just talk about Cantlay's putt, it's like they worked hard. Siwoo worked hard and Tom worked hard to get it to that point, and then they still couldn't get it over because Cantlay and Schauffele are just working, or Cantlay's working just as hard the other way to make it not happen.
Yeah.
And that's just the best part about team golf and match play.
What Canoop and I were standing on like the little balcony of the media tent
Yeah.
for that one, and like we're out there with like all the other media people, and like 5 people said like there's no way this isn't going in. Like people who cover golf all the time
Yes.
are just like, well, he's making this. Like
Yeah.
it-
That was the PGA Tour social media dude. He's like,
yeah.
Cantlay's making this.
Yeah,
It's like,
straight
oh,
up
I
the
agree.
hill. Yeah, straight up the hill.
Adam
He's
Stanley was right there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's going in.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
So
In the dark.
yeah, and I do like the fact that Bronell didn't call in because he can call us. We can kind of recap again next week some of the things that maybe we missed on the show, because it was such an event that it's almost like the adrenaline dump now.
Yeah.
It's going to be a shitty day tomorrow when we have to fly home. But right now, we'll just ride this high as long as we can. And
Be a shitty
fly.
day when you realize you actually bought one of those big hats.
oh no, that's going to be great. When I have to put it in my bag tomorrow, I get to.
You're gonna have
I
to
can
wear it
fold
on the plane.
I might wear it on the plane. See
You have to.
what the person beside me thinks. I mean, if it's a talking piece
Yeah,
and it gets
definitely
its
is.
own seat, maybe. What'd you guys have for booze counts before we wrap this thing up?
I had 36 on the week here, so I'm at 413 on the year.
I had 40. And I'm on my phone, so I don't know what that gets me to, but 720-ish probably.
Okay, and you beat me by 3. I had 37, so I'm at 745. So you gained 3, so you're getting closer.
I think Harv actually has more than I did. but-
There's no way I did.
Well,
I
we
counted.
can't call you out on it. I didn't.
Here's
keep
the
track.
thing. The reason I pull away on these trips from you guys is because I usually stay up the latest and drink longer. But I went to bed early last night.
Yeah. All right.
That's fair. Yep. You did have more hotel beers though than us.
Like one.
Yeah, would have
okay.
been one.
Do you guys want to go to Le Banquise for
Yeah,
some
I'm
I need to
starving.
eat something.
All right. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed the President's Cup as much as we did. We'll be back next week where Bronell can tell us what we missed. But until then, signing off from Montreal, it's time for us to hit the clubhouse.